This is Kanzenshuu, the podcast, episode 407 for the week of June 19th, 2016. What's up? Welcome to Kanzenshuu,
the podcast,
an extension of the all-encompassing Trunks fan site. Nope. All Dragon Ball fan site.
All the time. Kanzenshuu.
Did I confuse you for a second there? We cover anything and everything Dragon Ball in hopes of enlightening and a little bit of entertaining. Hey, it's Meri.
Hey, it's Mike.
That's the two of us.
Welcome to our basement.
That's true.
Of podcasting.
Yes.
And documentation.
It is the documentation
I am floored
room.
by the amount of documentation in this room. And you've put up pictures of that before, right?
Bits and pieces.
It's time for an update.
Yeah.
We've had some pretty cool acquisitions lately.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's some cool stuff that I want to kind of like finalize in here. Like only 1/4 of one of the walls has audio soundproof foam on it, so it looks kind of ghetto behind me, but maybe like from this angle.
No, it's artistic.
It would look okay. I don't know.
It's artsy.
Well, Meri, hi.
Hello there.
Time for another podcast episode. You're here.
I know, again so soon. This is quite striking.
I hate to typecast you, but there is a Trunks topic here.
Good Lord. You know, there's a lot more to me than just Trunks.
I know, and you have been here, not since the literal beginning, but since the second episode of the show. You've been here a long time. You've said many things, but the excitement over Trunks...
It's bringing me back to the fold.
I was going to say the convenience of you being upstairs is helpful.
And the convenience of being married to the head of Temple of Trunks is probably quite helpful.
So we're going to talk about Trunks. We're going to have another episode about hair color.
And I texted you twice today when you told me this.
Disbelief, yeah.
I was like, what? This is not the Kanzenshuu I know. This is not the husband I know.
Sorry.
Why are we talking about something so banal?
Yes, well, that is kind of the point of the topic. We're going to talk about it. The hair is blue. It's still blue. We're a couple episodes in. The question here is, well, do you care? So that's going to be our topic, and I have lots of feedback on Twitter. Oh my gods. People have things to say about this. We'll see if we do. But in typical Kanzenshuu fashion, Meri, to make this appropriate for your expectations, I have quotes from Toriyama. We have history to put in perspective. It's all going to come around and make sense in the end. I promise you that.
I would expect nothing less. You better bring it, son.
All right, I'm going to bring it. Before we get to our topic, we actually have had a weekly podcast for a couple of weeks. That means there's only a week's worth of news. Gonna hit it real quick. The first bit of news is Trunks related in a way, and that's Dragon Ball Xenoverse. We got another peek at the game courtesy of the Electronic Entertainment Exposition, otherwise known as E3 in Los Angeles this last week.
There were some pretty sweet looking posters from that event. I saw Ryan and Josh put up some awesome photos of that display there.
Yeah.
Holy, they're larger than life.
And Josh did get a chance to check out the game, and he was tweeting a couple things at us. Fortunately/unfortunately, most of what he heard and saw, they put out in their fact sheet ahead of time. There's a couple more details here, and there has been more since then, but this is what we can independently confirm, of course, through their own information. You know, relive the storyline, blah, 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 next-gen visuals. We know that since the game is going to be exclusively on the now current-gen systems and PC, that means 60 frames a second across all platforms. That's very cool. Something that people were very interested in is that the new hub city is going to be 7 times as large as the previous one. The hub city was basically a glorified menu for you to run around.
So 7 times more menu options.
Yeah, that is a concern. If the hub city is, you know, your character clothing and your items, and you got to travel around that way, I'm okay with that. I think my problem and a lot of other folks' problem was things like just doing an online versus match. You had to run up to the appropriate robot at the appropriate station, set something up. You feel like you want something a little quicker. Maybe that breaks the immersion a little bit. I don't know. They did talk about you will be able to fly in the city, but not right away. That's something you're going to train and level up to be able to do. You will be able to scoot around on a vehicle prior to that. And they're saying right now they're going to support the game with post-launch content up to a year. after release, which is basically what they did with the first game in those 3 DLC packs, but they're kind of confirming it out the gate here. And we got some screenshots. We see Talos from DBZ Movie 3. We know Kula from DBZ Movie 5 is going to be in there. We got future Gohan. Many more characters to tease, I'm sure. That's how the game promotional cycle goes. They drip out the new characters as time goes on. Meri, Xenoverse 2, what would your excitement be for this game, particularly in the story realm?
As long as it can find a way to bring some originality to this story, kind of what they did with the first one, then I'm all for it. I mean, Xenoverse seemed like the most original bit of content that we've had to a mainstream console in a while, in a really long while, so...
Right. Maybe since Plan to Eradicate the Science in 94.
Hey, if you want to be technical about it, as far as original content is concerned, yes.
I mean, other than the what-if modes and side stories and that kind of
and
stuff.
I am discounting that, even though all that stuff is amazing and hilarious and awesome. I'm optimistic about it.
Yeah.
Not that I really play that much of Xenoverse, but...
No, you watched far more of Xenoverse than you did
I was a backseat driver, Xenoverse
you sure were.
player.
That's okay.
And that's how I roll.
Quick bit, we got cover art for Legend 5, the 5th volume of the So Shuhen, the Digest Edition manga that is going to be coming out very soon. Picks up with chapter 113, 366 pages, and it's out actually this week, June 24th. That's coming out. So 5 volumes of that, and then we did get dates for, we actually knew what the dates are going to be because they've announced the schedule, but the next ones are going to be out July 8th and July 22nd, taking us through Legend 6 and Legend 7. So V-Jump leaks are flying fast and furious. The issue is actually out as you're listening to this now, so we'll have more news. But the big thing that leaked out of there is new character that we did actually see in the new opening animation for the Trunks arc. This character that looks like a green Kaioshin.
Yes.
Zamazu. The hype text says, a mysterious man who appears in the new part added into the TV anime's opening. What is his true identity? And then it says, these clothes, don't tell me he's a Kaioshin?
Have you been paying attention this whole time to what Kaioshin wear?
So Jake says that Zamasu is an archaic form of to be, like a state of being.
Oh, interesting.
So we'll see if that plays out in any way. Zamasu is going to be played by Shinichiro Miki, a very much veteran voice actor, has done stuff on FMA and Brotherhood specifically. Pokemon, one of the main characters, James, I believe is Kojiro in Japanese. I actually know, I think, primarily from Virtua Fighter as Akira.
And you said he was in Escaflowne too, right?
Yeah, was this Alan Shazar? I think it might have been.
I'm long overdue for an Escaflowne rewatch. I do believe it has been 15 years.
Yeah, waiting on those Funimation Blu-rays.
Yes.
So that's how I'll be doing that show. So yeah, it's just a tease hyping up a new character. We have a name for this character and some hints about who they might be. Meri, what do you want from a new Kaioshin, if that is what Zamasu is going to be?
Be an interesting character.
Are you saying Kaioshin
interesting?
is not?
No. I mean, Kaioshin's like cute and polite and fun. We need something different from that.
Yeah.
Because Whis and Beerus are so distinct
They're
and
the comedy
interesting.
duo now.
And if they're going to keep one-upping, and now there's a god of gods and an omni-god and a god of shits and giggles and whatever god you can make up, at least we're over the one-upping, or at least I'm over the one-upping. If it's not a one-upping of power or hierarchy, be interesting as a character, and I will be okay with that.
And I think if this is going to be a Kaioshin, so we're already back down the ranking a little bit. So yeah, to set yourself apart and be interesting, you have to be interesting. So be it. Meri, last bit of news. This just came out the last day or so. The new closing theme for the Trunks arc. You know where this is going,
I do know where this is going. I sometimes read your interwebs.
A very young idol group, Baten Shoujo Tai,
I don't like the sound of this.
is going to be doing Yoka Yoka Dance, which is something like the easygoing dance.
I just almost spat out my
choking
drink.
on your alcohol over there.
Damn.
What do you think of, and this is the big conversation right now, is the tone of the series?
Wildly inappropriate.
Well, Meri, think
I'm
about...
also not asking for a power ballad necessarily.
Well, I am.
I'm not looking for maybe death metal.
Well, I am.
I don't know, maybe just somber prog rock.
Would this be any different from I'll Give You Romance or Zenkai Power?
The difference between I'll Give You Romance was that at the time, Dragon Ball was still lighthearted and fun, and sometimes there was action.
Yeah.
That was the expectation. That was the mood at the time. Now it's a new mood. You know what? I say that, but at this point, 10% of the episode is still goofy comedy.
Mm-hmm. Who knows where it's going to go? I mean, it feels like it's going to be more serious, but I mean, this is all knee-jerk reactions.
It is knee-jerk reaction, and you can't help humans.
Yeah,
human nature is just we do that. Things
I do
happen.
criticize that. I think the social media echo chamber allows for a little bit too much of that, but I do think it's important to cover that this group, who averaged 14 years old, that was an incredible noise that you just made there. I think we're going to isolate that out and just play that on repeat at the end of the episode. I do have this power.
Oh, goody. This is how I become internet famous.
So this is going to start next month, and the CD single hits September 14th. And we're actually going to be posting this news very soon. It seems like 4 versions of the CD single will be coming out. Not quite.
What? 4 versions?
Not. I know you're choking again. Not quite the 11 that Kokoro no Hane, Wings of the Heart, had back in Dragon Ball Kai with Team Dragon from AKB48. Not quite 11, but 4 is the most we've had since I think 3 with Junjo Pure Heart from the Boo arc of Kai.
Talk about money grab, man.
Yeah, I'm conflicted on this. One of the versions says there's going to be a cover song to be determined. Who knows if it's going to be a Dragon Ball cover song, because Lord knows what we need is another version of I'll Give You Romance plopped onto a CD. You're just like looking around and shaking your head.
No, I am just shaking my head. You got nothing? Point. And looking at everything. It's very colorful in here.
I know, it's distracting.
People, I know it's
I need
hard.
you to focus. Come on, Meri. Stick with me here.
People need to know.
All right.
What's in this basement.
Okay. You're done with this bit of news, aren't you?
I hope it's a good song.
Right. Well, a leaked sample seems to have popped up online today.
Oh, okay.
I have not listened to it yet. I want to wait for a proper introduction to the song. I don't know what that means, but...
You're overthinking it. Just listen to it.
All right. So yeah, Baten Shoujo Tai Yoka Yoka Dance coming as the 5th closing theme to Dragon Ball Super.
You know what?
Yes.
Maybe the animation, Yoka Yoka Dance.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just going to be Karin and Yajirobe limboing.
Just doing more limbo?
And that's all it is.
That could be great.
That's all it is.
I'd be fine with that.
I would be so... Yes, make it happen. Come on, Toei.
Well, Meri, let's talk about Trunks' hair. So I want to take you back to, I mean, we could go all the way back to the beginning of the manga and the various productions and certain, now a mother character who maybe she has blue hair, maybe she has purple hair, depending on the chapter and depending on the animation team. Trunks in the TV series, in the movies, in all animated material, consistently since his introduction, hair has been, let's call it, purple.
Lavender
maybe is a better word to describe it. So Trunks, his character design for this new arc of Dragon Ball Super comes out, done by original manga author Akira Toriyama. As expected, comes out, it's blue.
And I gotta eat my words.
Yeah.
Because I was all like, oh, this is Toriyama's design. They'll make it consistent with the animation. They'll make it purple for the show. Dun, dun, dun.
They did not. Right. Now, that's not entirely different from many things we've had before. I want to take you to Battle of Gods and Toriyama's designs for various characters there. I have a couple quotes for you here. These are all from the span of just about a month, all apart from each other. The first one I want to read to you here is from the May 2013 issue of V-Jump, which came out in March 2013. The question here, more of a statement. The characters certainly have changed slightly since the Boo arc. When I first saw the movie's poster, I was particularly surprised at the changes in Kudadin's and Vidal's hairstyles. Toriyama responds, I am not at all particular about things like hairstyles and colors. Especially with women, changing their hairstyle or color is a bit too commonplace, don't you think? With people like Bulma, I actually don't even know myself what her natural hair color is. And he laughs there.
How had he designed Vidal's hair?
It was that short bob cut.
Yeah, I'm looking at the movie poster as you say that, and it's still the short bob cut, so I can't tell what's different.
Well, that was different from her introduction in the manga with the pigtails to then when she cut that off and shaved. So it's just, a different hairstyle. But everyone's got, updated outfits, that kind of stuff. I want to continue going here. And I was sure that the blue she had when she first appeared was her natural hair color. Toriyama goes on, I'm not at all particular about things. I'm particular about things I should be particular about, like the dialogue. That's I think a very important comment to keep in mind going forward. So again, just to put a little bit here in context, the original script for Battle of Gods was written by Yusuke Watanabe, who was brought in to be the scriptwriter. Toriyama came in at former editor Torishima's kind of insistence, his first editor, bigwig now at Shueisha, and was kind of prod like, hey, check out what's going on. Maybe you want to take a look at it. And Battle of Gods was something where Toriyama pretty much rewrote the entire thing. And he specifically cited dialogue that he changed, where he'd be like, no, this is what the characters would say. This is how they would say it. So I think Toriyama's comment here, in retrospect, we see it as a hair color comment right now in terms of what's going on. At the time, he was really thinking about dialogue. And I think that was his subtle jab at other people working on the franchise. And like, you guys don't quite grasp what makes these characters.
Where was this interview given?
This was in the May 2013 issue of V-Jump.
And it was about talking about the movies?
Yeah, it was in promotion of Battle of Gods.
Okay, because I was going to say, you're drawing a pretty big conclusion.
Well, hold on. I'm going to keep going, and I want you to kind of draw the conclusion through all of these lines here. I'm going to take you forward in time. At the same time, in March 2013, we got the official movie guide for Battle of Gods. And the question/interviewer statement here is, this time we got to see quite a few new costumes for familiar characters. Are there any points that you're particular about? So it's kind of a similar question here. Toriyama says, I'm always changing costumes and hairstyles. So rather than being particular, there are times when I can't recall what sort of hairstyle they had, he laughs. When I handed the roughs over to the anime staff, there were even characters I'd given the wrong hair color to. And he laughs there. So that's when we get number 18's hair color. I can't remember if it was gray or purple. It was
gray.
In that design there. And I think that was a big one that people cited. And Trunks, little Trunks in that design, blue hair. So these are the kinds of things that he's delivering, and they're saying, well, actually, this is what we're going to change it to.
So it all comes down to, he has his designs because he has a different set of priorities. He has a bad memory. It's fine. It is what it is. You kind of count on the movie staff to kind of make everything consistent.
I'm not done yet.
Oh,
I got one more.
Oh, wait, there's more, kids.
Oh, wait, there's more. We're going to jump to the full color manga release in Japan. In the 4th volume of the Frieza arc, we had more Toriyama stuff. Question here, have Goku and company changed from before? And Toriyama says, Goku absolutely never changes. Now, as before, he's someone who only thinks about getting stronger. I think the other characters probably haven't changed that much either. He goes on, what has changed is probably just appearances, hair colors and whatnot. I'm not particular with hairstyles and colors, almost the exact same phrasing there again.
Yeah.
And paint them in however's convenient at that time. Everyone normally changes things like hairstyles, right? It's the same as that. So I can't remember the character's hair colors either, and he laughs. I am extremely particular about the parts I'm particular about, but the parts I'm not particular about, I'm not particular about at all.
Holy crap. So he says almost verbatim the same exact thing.
And it's easy to look at this all in a row and say, like, he seems to be getting slightly irritated with the question as it goes on. But these are all separate events at separate times. But I think he really drives it home there where he's saying, look, I don't consider that stuff important. I'm not going to put attention and detail into it.
So what we can extrapolate from this is fans care about superficial things?
Do they? Because we're going to get to some of the fan responses because it's so easy to set up a straw man of fans think this. Is that true? Did someone literally say that? Does that represent a larger fan base conclusion? I don't know that it's possible to even tell that in this day and age. So where I want to go is the reasonable discussion will be with you and me here, Meri.
I am so glad you think of me as a reasonable person. That's how I know I'm adulting at 120%.
Well, we'll see where this discussion goes. So from your perspective, here we are in the Future Trunks arc of Dragon Ball Super. Not just he has blue hair, but something that we got in the most recent episode. Bulma asks the person in that ship there if he's a young man with blue hair. They very specifically...
I didn't catch on to that.
Yeah, very specifically citing the color. So this is one of those... This is how I always describe when people ask, is it canon? I think what they're asking is, are we supposed to expect and understand it's always been this way despite only learning it now? It's almost a similar thing here. Are we expected to understand and believe that his hair has always been blue?
That defies logic with Chibi Trunks right there.
Yeah. I think that's one of the biggest sticking points here is that our present day Trunks literally standing there looking at his future self with 2 different colors of hair. So do you get into the in-universe kind of like step arounds. Like maybe it changes over time, but
Maybe
you got to
he
take
dyed
it
it.
back to.
Maybe he is graying and now it's
Maybe that's the aging is hair color changing earlier. So do you feel like you need to start getting into those in-universe descriptions to explain it away, or do you just stop and don't go any further?
I would have said the latter up until you told me what you just said about what Bulma said.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that changes everything.
Does it?
It does. It's obnoxious now. Now it's something I can't avoid, and I wanted to avoid it. I had wanted to avoid it up until you told me about that dialogue piece.
Okay.
She seriously said that?
Yeah. A line of dialogue ruins it for you.
It does. Because now it makes it real. It makes the change real. It goes
Were you in denial this whole
I
time?
was. It goes from being just superficial, oh yeah, it's Toriyama, it's just colors, who really cares? He's still the character, and he is still the character. Do not get me wrong. He is still the character, and he's better than ever. He is awesome. But now Bulma says his hair is blue. It's like, crap. So it's so multifaceted. Now it gives fans, one more thing to bitch about, because now it is in universe. B,
I see what you did there.
it's real life as opposed to
What you're saying is anime is real, Mary.
well, now you made the conversation so much more complicated.
All right,
because
well-
of this dialogue. Okay, so my stance
Okay.
prior to this would have been I don't give a flying hoo-ha.
Okay.
Even though I'm the owner of Temple of Trunks and, you know, my tagline is everything and everything about the purple hair Wonder Boy.
Oh, so this ruins
It ruins
your
my tagline,
Gotcha.
for one thing. Well, no, the fact that his hair is purple, it wasn't a make or break kind of deal, but to see it suddenly inconsistent was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's a little obnoxious, but whatever. Toriyama's getting older, and clearly he doesn't care, like you said in all those quotes. He cares about the important things. As long as the character is right, ultimately, I do not care.
Is that where you're siding? Where
That's where I
okay,
was
it's-
citing,
Yeah.
but now Bulma says it's blue. And now by putting a name to the color, you almost make that distinction real, as opposed to it's just coloring. It's just
a cartoon.
It's maybe just a variation of purple. If she says blue, now it's blue. And at the end of the day, does it still matter? No, but I feel like it's
All right.
trickier when a character addresses it.
Here's where I'm going to take the discussion. Place yourself in 1998.
I can do that.
How would you react to this?
I would be writing angry letters in English. In English, because I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
To Japan.
You sound very conflicted.
I am
over
very
this.
conflicted. I wasn't conflicted prior to being in this basement. Thank you very much. I had a stance.
We call this the confliction room.
Welcome to the confliction room. Brilliant. Okay, 1998. I would have flipped the shit, but I was also half my age. So maturity is part of it.
I feel like I'm pulling this card a lot lately, where it's
The maturity card, hey.
like we're in our 30s. This isn't going to ruin the show for me.
No,
but
yeah, if you put it in perspective, this is perspective, people. Will it ruin the show? No. Is it distracting for maybe 2 seconds? Yeah.
yeah.
But then you see the awesome animation, you see the awesome drama, you see the conflict, and suddenly everything is okay. Everything is right. It's super.
I don't know what else I have to add to that. My question for you then would be, just do you like the way that he looks now? Because
I do.
I actually think it's a great color scheme overall.
I mean, I think it's a little bit too blue between the new coloring of the denim jacket plus his blue hair. But the overall design, it's like he's just a hardened, more pissed off, more tragic looking character. And his hair is like the same but modernized. It's not quite so a bowl.
Oh, yeah,
good.
yeah. Well, he's
They've made
older.
it jaggier. They've made the edges.
I mean, shit's going on.
blend
He hasn't
in.
had time for a haircut.
He doesn't quite look like a tool from the mid '90s anymore, which
Sure.
which is great. They've taken the look and they've modernized it.
So before we take it to listener comments, something I've talked about and we were kind of getting into earlier with the Battle of Gods designs and how there was an executive decision to correct, so to speak, some of those colors. What do you think the situation was here? I think it's kind of one of three scenarios.
And I'm so wishy-washy on the subject. I feel like when you tell me these three
Yeah.
possibilities, I could be swayed either way. Because I'd be like, oh yeah, every single one of those is plausible.
I feel like it could have been they received the character design, they liked it, and they just stuck with it. How plausible do you think that is?
Very
I
plausible.
mean, I look at it and I think it looks good. It could be no one noticed and they stuck with it. I don't think that's likely. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
in
too
a
much
room-
trunk stuff out there.
Especially when you're animating present Trunks.
Yeah. In the same show.
Are you friggin' colorblind? And maybe
all the
that's true.
heroes stuff going on right now. Xenoverse, it's impossible to mix what he's been. Another thing is they asked Toriyama, they got the designs, they said, hey, what's going on here? And maybe he specifically asked it to be left alone. Like, no, stay with the blue.
Can I offer a fourth possibility?
You sure can.
This is probably the least likely, but I'll throw it out there. It's a plot point.
I feel like the fact that Bulma asked about it already.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying it. Yeah.
I feel like ahead of time, people were really like, maybe they're going to describe it. Maybe this has something to do with time travel. It's going to tie into Super Saiyan Blue genes or something like that. I don't think it's going to go that route. I think Occam's razor here. It is what it is, and it's going to stay what it is because that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to add before we turn it over to the unbelievable amount of comments we got on Twitter?
Oh, man. No, I'm not going to waste your time.
Okay.
I'm bracing myself.
There's no possible way I could read everything we got here. And this is also a self-selecting audience. This is the Kanzenshuu audience.
Hells yeah, the best audience there is.
Exactly.
I love you people.
Everyone's already apathetic about everything anyway. So
can that be your new tagline?
Kanzenshuu. We're old and apathetic. So, I mean, overall, we're kind of leaning that way. And that's where I feel like it's easy to set up that straw man of selecting a certain particular audience and saying that represents fandom.
No.
I feel like you go on YouTube.
Very much different.
Yeah, I just said you go on YouTube, you're going to see what all the other comments are. So let's run through a few of these here. Adele simply says, I like the blue better than the purple. There's so much of that here. I think folks' enjoyment of the color scheme kind of overrides any questions they had before. Genki Dama says something we were talking about. It's not too big a deal, but I would like an explanation besides that they just wanted a redesign or more toys. I think we're not going to get that explanation here.
I never thought of the toy angle.
Buddy the Devil's Corpse says, slightly annoying inconsistency with Kai footage and Kid Trunks being purple, but complaining won't change anything, so meh. There's that apathy I'm looking for.
I like it, especially with the meh.
Justin says, I wish they had changed Kid Trunks too.
Oh, yeah. You know what? That's kind of how I feel about this. At the end of the day, go all in, pick one and stay with it because I am a fan of consistency. It has nothing to do with, oh, I love purple or that's the color I grew up with. It's the inconsistency that drives me a little up the wall because I'm slightly OCD.
AJ links to the clip from Family Guy where Peter Griffin says, who the hell cares? And then also says, Vegeta had brown for a while. Shit happens.
Oh, yeah.
That was changed, though, in the show. I mean, that was a different circumstance.
Think on a home release?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, then.
Maluna says, I haven't kept up. Since Mai is with him, this is our Trunks all grown up, right? Blue is a good choice to show that. Yes, it's been confirmed ahead of time in promotional material and also via dialogue and flashbacks in the show itself. This is the future Trunks that we saw in our timeline, which is actually timeline 2, which creates all sorts of other issues if you think about things like Zeno. So yes, it is that future Trunks. Just showing that he's more grown up, that could be, but the last time that all of our characters saw him, he had purple hair. So how would they know that it had changed and would have changed over time?
How would Bulma know?
Right. Jack says, I like it more aesthetically, but the way it's implemented in the series feels very clumsy. Not a big deal, though.
I wonder what he means by clumsy. Maybe kind of how I feel, where it's too similar to the jacket color.
Here we go. Corey says, Super is a shit show in many ways. This is small compared to the other things it has done.
Huh. That's rather harsh.
Yeah, it is. I think it's also a valid point to make. Gabby says, them trying to retroactively change our memories is a bit annoying, but it's only an aesthetic difference. Not such a big deal.
Yeah, there is a retcon angle. And I think that's what bugs me about the Bulma comment.
Yeah.
Is that this is such a it's an uncharacteristic retcon.
Yeah.
Like very just out of nowhere. I would rather no one have said anything.
Emma says, I adore the look, but having no explanation whatsoever just feels wrong. Again, especially with Kid Trunks looking completely different. Sean Kaboom says, it's a drop in the already overflowing bucket of Super's problems at this point. Can't really force myself to care. So we have the apathy, just like a baseline apathy from people. But then like the next step up, we have the Super's been such a shit show. Now I'm more apathetic than I otherwise would have been level.
I love the level of critical thinking and realism and...
Tyro, Dave says, Super can do what it likes. What frustrates me is fans' need to justify design change for the anime from an in-universe perspective.
Ooh.
So there we go, blaming the fans, blaming the victims.
Oh, I do love blaming the fans.
Jack says, I don't mind about blue or purple. I'm just happy Trunks and Bulma now have the same hair color, like in Toriyama's illustrations.
Oh, I like that angle.
Jack has a good comment here. Why, though? Not a deal breaker, but just dumb. Is lavender too expensive to paint?
Lavender isn't cheap. We gotta get in that red to mix in with a blue.
Buddy Tanuki has a good point from, I think, your perspective, Meri, as well. I don't mind. I think I might just be used to American comics, though, where this kind of stuff is a lot more common. Someone new might join the staff and just change things because it's their vision with no in-universe explanation.
Yeah, hairstyles would change all the time. From issue to issue, artist to artist.
Chevelle here hitting all the internet hot terms. I honestly couldn't bring myself to care, but I'm happy about the blue hair because it seems to have triggered a lot of fans. Nicholas says, among other things, I don't want to see flashbacks of him with purple hair or vice versa. That's the lack of consistency there. And yeah, they're using Kai for their flashback footage, so we're going to see that kind of stuff. Alicia here agrees with you, Meri. Was okay with it, actually liked it, until Bulma recognized him by his blue hair as if he'd always had it. So does this mean they're going to retroactively change his hair color in the Z footage they have, or just ignore it like with 47? I think Kurt here has a good point. It's like everything regarding new stuff just doesn't care. Honestly, if they don't care, why expect me to care for the product?
I think that's where I'm coming at it.
Even though it's just hair color, it's kind of just like one more thing for the pile of, really?
Do we need to actually give a shit about this? Yeah.
And I think we're going to leave it there. Most of those comments hit, I think, everything we could have said, could have wanted to say. And
may I interrupt you?
You sure can.
Were you just being very selective? Were there any people that were outraged and you just chose to omit them?
I think the ones I read from like Sean, those were the most of the outrage there were. There was anything like dropping the series, delete your show, nothing like that.
Okay.
Again, this is the self-selective Kanzenshuu audience, so even when there's anger, it's
tempered,
kind of anger.
Tempered, good-natured, well-thought-out angered.
Yeah. So where do you want to leave this, Meri? That's our topic for the week.
We'll leave it with the people.
I feel like it's become an issue, and I didn't want it to become an issue, and maybe by giving it attention, it creates more of an issue than it should have been.
Yeah, and that's why I was shocked you wanted to talk about this, because it was like, oh, you're really going to open up that can of worms? We could have been talking about the great 2 episodes we've had so far, the drama, the intrigue.
I don't think it's
the emotion.
I don't think it's worth hitting that few episodes as a review. Next episode looks like it's going to wrap up the introduction of the arc and really get us going. I think at that point, maybe it's worth talking about what we've seen so far. That's kind of where I want to leave it.
That's fine with me, buddy.
Yeah, so that was Trunks' hair.
Da-da-da!
2016.
Can't believe we're having this conversation.
This is what we've been reduced to.
I'm in disbelief, and we are reduced to this.
Where can the folks find us?
They can find us at kanzenshuu.com, KANZENSHUU.com. You also have an awesome Facebook page, pretty great Twitter feed, and I would say those are the 2 places you're active. I don't know where else you play.
We got a little Instagram action going on, got some photos going up. Yeah, that's where we are. Okay. So that's Meri over there. Thanks.
Yeah, you can find me at Twitter, Temple of Trunks, TEMPLEOTRUNKS.
I haven't heard you spell that out in such a long time.
I know, that felt so nostalgic.
That felt very 10 years ago.
Can I say it again?
Yeah, sure.
So you can find my website at www.templeotrunks.com.
That felt right.
It has not been updated since 2008, but damn, you could find some hilarious and poorly written comedy on that website. You can also find me at Meri TOT if you just want to read my non-Trunks ramblings on Twitter.
Yeah, older stuff. When I was porting over all the news articles from
Does
the
it
old
make you
Kanzenshuu
cringe?
Extra. Oh.
You just die on the inside.
I had no business reporting news in 1998, but them's the breaks. You gotta get started somewhere.
I had no reason to exist on the interwebs in 1998.
No. Well, thank you. That was Meri. I have been Mike, Vegito EX.
You will continue to be Mike.
We have me, we have Julian, we have Jake, we have Heath. We are the Kanzenshuu here in the Confliction Zone. You said everything I wanted to say. That really truly was our topic this week. So we'll see you next time for 408. We'll see who we got, what we talked about. Got lots of things planned. It's just a matter of scheduling. Sometimes it doesn't work. And by sometimes, I mean most of the time. That's it. Have a lovely week. Look forward to more Trunks material because that's what's going on right now. Julian has been plugging away at translation material. I'm hoping to throw it all up at once. It's really, really interesting. Toriyama talking with his BFF is just some of the best kind of behind the scenes inside baseball material. So Toriyama Katsura stuff. Look forward to that coming on the website very soon. Some good insight. That's what I think we got on tap in terms of content. News is always going. That's it. Meri, signing off.
You don't exist 20 years from now, because right here, right now, Pilaf is gonna beat your ass.
I love movie 7. I don't know why I love movie 7.
I rewatched, I'm going to add this on. I watched movie 9 recently for the first time in years. Damn, it had some sweet fight scenes in it.
Didn't it?
I love the music in that movie. I love the fight scenes in that movie. I love, oh my God, I just forgot her name.
Zangia.
No.
Oh, Mayumi Tanaka.
Oh my God, she's so good. And so good, my man.
Best part of that movie?
Oh, Gohan walking forward slowly.
Why am I singing? It's awful.
Gohan walking slowly.
Gohan walking slowly.
That's the second best part of that movie.
Yeah. Best part is
Tension Han taking off his damn shirt. And 17-year-old me would have said that, but rewatching, I'm like, holy shit!
The best
Boy's got some pecs.
Best part, Trunks is just fucking with him the whole time.
Yeah. Something's wrong with me. I wasn't looking at Trunks. Yeah, Tension Han, bring it. I was looking at Trunks too.
What else is good about that?
Not gonna lie. Oh, despondent Vegeta on the bed is the best thing ever.
It's pretty good.
Throwing the remote. Garbage, he says.
Man, I love movie 9's music. Yeah. I mean, the Gohan piece is great, and the Vegeta motif is just carried from previous stuff. But all the Tenkaichi Daibudokai, I think they call it, all the music around there is great. Mr. Satan's amazing. Walking down with toilet paper stuck to his feet.
We commented about this when I was watching it.
Yeah.
Fucking Bojack pushing Zangia, and then he realized there was no point.
There was no point to that.
He thought maybe she was gonna take the blast. There was no blast because he pushed her, and then he blew her up. Right. And I didn't realize that before. I
think it was kind of like, maybe I'll distract Gohan by doing this, because then he starts forming.
But then Gohan just keeps walking.
Yeah.
Because, man, nothing phases that 10-year-old boy, or however the hell old he's supposed to be.
You know what I like about that movie is we get that early henchman fight with Trunks and Goku.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a henchman transforms. Mm-hmm. That's pretty neat. I don't know. It's like we get this great build up to, I don't know how to describe it. It's a really cool, different kind of scene and setup there.
Almost so much so that Bojack, once he arrives, is almost like, you're an accessory and this awesome team of henchmen.
His transformation is good. He just goes like, "Brawr, I'm green now,"
and my clothes come flying off.
Yeah.
Next up on my hit parade is 13.
Yeah, we do 13.
I'm in a Trunks mood. And normally you would think, oh, she'll watch 7 because it's future Trunks. But I want some character drama. And I love Chibi Trunks in that movie just being all big bro, all up in Tapion's face. Good animation in that one too.
Yeah.
I love the Great Dosaiman Chigo. Great Dosaiman Nigo. Did I remember that properly?
That's pretty good.
Okay.
There's no opening theme to that movie either. I like that.
Which is fantastic.
The opening is just their antics.
Mm-hmm. More antics, please.
Them dancing.
Is this an Easter egg?
Yeah, I'll put it at the end. Gohan catching the bullets. That's animated just beyond.
Oh, God.
Beyond
the
good.
Timing. That was that and the Trunks TV special were the first two things I saw in Japanese. And when
Could you tell the story one more time in the podcast? That'd be okay.
Yeah, I'm going to tell it one more time anyway. Yeah, movie 13. Oh, so good. Set the bar too damn high.
Yeah, I think it did for you.
Original version nonsense you're throwing at me. Yes, more.
Good. Yeah, it's good stuff.
What should I watch after 13? Not 10.
You mean just in terms of like solid story stuff? Because
That has trunks in it.
Can I interest you in a dead zone?
No trunks, so no thank you.
You want to talk about setting, atmosphere, music? Movie 1 has that in spades.
I do love
above
movie
and
one.
beyond every other movie.
Movie 1 is fantastic. Talk about setting the bar very high.
Tell me more about how movie 1 is fantastic.
I'm looking at 5 copies in front of my face,
Justify
and I'm
my
just sitting in a chair, and I'm barely turning my head.
No, that's only 2 right there.
There's 3 in front of my face.
That's just a postcard.
There are 3 VHSs in front of my face.
Oh, that's right. They are. I didn't
on this
see those.
table.
Okay, so there are 5 in front of you.
There are 5 in front of me. I'm not lying. I am now turning my head more.
No, there's no other movie
Okay.
ones in here. Actually, the fan sub might be behind you. I'm not sure. I think it is. Yeah, it is. So there's 6 in this room.
6 movie 1 fan
6
subs.
dead zones.
Various versions. You got a laser disc, you got an American laser disc, American VHS, another American VHS, a legit looking Japanese VHS.
That's because it's legit.
Too legit to quit.
Me and movie 1, too legit to quit.
There's
I can't stop me. Gua.
Gua. Violent Mike.
That's the best game ever.
God, that was such like...
It's my time.
We made that a meme before memes were a thing.
We did. College consisted of you, myself, and Andrew just going, Gua! I can't stop me.
Oh my God. I wonder if he remembers that.
Of course. He introduced me to the Neo Geo Pocket.
I'm going to text him and find out.
Do it.
Okay.
Anything else?
I'm good. I want to watch movie 13.
I've barely
but it's
touched
late.
this beer, so you want to go watch movie 13?
Yes, please.
Dragon Box? Or do you want subs?
Oh,
It's tough. I know. I haven't custom subbed it
the
myself
gorgeousness of movie 13, but wanting to remember the story a little bit better.
Yeah.
We'll flip a coin, okay? It sounds like you have an opinion. You have an opinion.
yet. Does Vegito EX have an opinion?
I don't know.
Is the sky blue?
Am I
Is Trunks' hair blue?
Am I talking to rational 30-something-year-old Mike, or am I talking to bitch-ass 17-year-old angry Mike all the time?
Well, they are one and the same.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
I've seen the evolution of Mike.
Did I split off my evil?
Oh, yes.
And what
you are
did he-
Kami. I'm married to Kami.
What did he go on to do? Ouch. Am I keeping that in?
If you want.
I think that's almost too brutal.
You think so? That's how I roll.
All right, I'm going to stop.